Hi, I'm Rabbi Penny Herman, and this is my wife, Helena. So during quarantine, we're getting to see different sides of each other, things we may not have realized when we first got married. So for example, Helena's getting to see my naturally curly hair. I was actually hoping to grow it out, but she kind of put the kibosh on that idea.
When's your haircut appointment?
It's supposed to be actually today. Let's see what happens. Anyway, Helena, take it away.
So I'm going to start by saying what I wish I would have known when I first got married. We're speaking to young couples here, and while I feel we got a really great, solid spiritual foundation for our marriage. We even got great tips and tools from amazing educators and rabbis and mashpiyim. But actually, I would always walk away with but how? How do I do these things? For example, anger is avodah zarah. Well, no one taught me how to deal with my anger. And so when we were 10 years into our marriage, how long are we married now? I think 32, 33. We're coming up on our anniversary.
I can't believe you don't know.
Okay. 32 years. The first 10 years were hard. We thought we had a good marriage, but we did not know how to navigate conflict at all. We thought there was something wrong with us. And we learned ourselves. We took a workshop to get trained for ourselves to learn the tools, and then we trained and certified to teach it to others. And so one of the most frustrating things for me was that when I would get upset with Penny, I would be really angry and I would lash out, and we call that in Imago terms, there's a fight, flight, or freeze response to conflict, and I would go into this fight mode. And here's the person that I married and I chose and I want to have the most love and respect for, and yet I found myself triggered. And then Penny would go into his shell, and he became a turtle. So that's the fight. I'm sorry, the freeze or the flight, the running away, the freezing response. So what I want to tell you is the good news. There's nothing wrong with you. That actually this is part of relationship, and this is what Hashem did to us in all relationships. He wants us, even if you have a relationship with a new job or a new school that you're attending, there's actually 3 stages. I'm going to say them quickly and then I'm going to explain them. The 3 stages are the euphoria stage or the romantic stage. Stage 2 is the conflict stage or the power struggle stage. And stage 3 is the conscious love, or we call it the enchantment stage. So the first stage is the romantic stage. It doesn't mean you don't have romance later on in your life, but there's a stage where the endorphins are released, the hormones are released in your body, and you actually feel like you're on drugs in a way. Hopefully you can have that experience. But 0 to 18 months is how long that lasts. And then you start seeing the warts, the things that are wrong, things that bother you, and you start feeling conflict. You're supposed to feel conflict. It's actually meant to happen. So there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your relationship. It's actually a gift, because one of my favorite phrases is conflict is growth trying to happen. And we don't have time for all of that now, but the third stage is the enchantment stage or the conscious love stage, where you can see your partner and your spouse as somebody different than you. You can start appreciating your differences with your eyes wide open and embrace them, embrace yourself, and you actually can learn how to navigate. And you take on a little more of if the other person, let's say, is late and you're always on time, you can actually start to learn how to take on a little bit more of the other person's characteristics. Like the person who's always late starts becoming more on time, and the person that's always on time can become a little bit more flexible. So that's really what I wanted to share today, and I did want to teach you the Imago dialogue. That is the way to navigate the conflict stage. Just one quick, there's 3 parts, I'm only going to tell you one. If you feel upset or triggered with your spouse, or anybody for that matter, here's the magic words. When you see it happening and they're speaking to you and you're starting to get that reaction, say out loud, "So what I hear you saying is," and repeat back what you heard them say. You could mirror it, but you can also paraphrase it. Just say, "I hear you, and this is what I hear you saying." If you do that, just that alone, you're going to stop the cycle of the power struggle and the conflict.